Yo, what's going on YouTube? This your boy Comrade Zero Spike back again once again. And today, people, we're here for Kamen Rider Geats episode 36. And this episode, it seems like we're tying up a bunch of loose ends in this episode. A bunch of stuff that were set up previously that they just go ahead, handle it, and get it out of the way, since we are basically almost at like tail end of this series currently. And yeah, a lot of stuff happened in this episode, a lot of more setups for more things to come, even though we don't have that many episodes left. But hopefully they can do these setups and, get some good payoffs to these current situations and setups that they're actually bringing up. So in this episode, we did see that Kekera is up to his own little shenanigans. We get a fight between Buffa and Archimetal, and we also get some best friend stuff going on with Neon and Sarah, and also the reveal of Keiwa. Keiwa reveals himself to Sarah. We get some little talks between Geats and Buffa, and some more setups and some more things going on between all of the admins, and some more characters having their own little things that they're going to be doing in the background, these little secret jobs and things like that they have. And I did like the reveal of Keiwa coming out and saving his sister, and she's out here talking about, like, you don't have to protect me and stuff like that all the time. She was mad that he's back to being a writer and things like that, and that's the only real reason she became a writer in the first place, was to protect him and keep him from being in this game. But Kay was like, nah, I need to protect my sister, I need to make sure you were safe and things like that. We did see how Buffa is basically narrowing down all the writers and stuff that are left now that Daichi is gone. Well, gone, air quotes. But yeah, we did see how but then that's when Geats comes in and gives him the whole, there is one more person you forgot, and he draws the thing on the chalkboard, and it was Punk Jack, and Punk Jack is actually back. We did see the conversation between Geats and Punk Jack, saying that he's telling him that, hey, yeah, we're all getting ready to leave this world essentially, and Nerum has basically essentially given me a job to do, but we don't know what necessarily that job is. We see that Nerum does send Punk Jack out to do his like little secret job, even though it involves Geats. We did see that Win was like, yeah, I'm done being a pawn in like your game. I'm done being a pawn to the management, his words. And yeah, we don't know what Punk Jack's got going on, but hey, we also saw that Nerum does also go to Jin, asking him to be a negotiator, basically hiring Jin back and asking him to be a negotiator to basically negotiate terms with Beruba, trying to get the Vision Driver back. And we know that they're gonna end up getting the Vision Driver back because of the next the preview, because we do see Gazer. So I mean, she does have both of them, right? I know that no, she doesn't have both of them, because Buffa ended up giving one back to her. But anyway, we did see we see Neon's actual wish, and then we see how Sarah doesn't like it. Sarah didn't want to take it. Basically, Neon feels like Neon wish is that she wants everybody to forget about her, so she can't, because she was offered to go into the future with Kyun, and we haven't seen Kyun in a while, actually. I wonder what he's got going on, but we haven't seen Kyun in a while, and well, I think at least like 2 episodes we haven't seen Kyun, but maybe she's possibly considering going into the future with Kyun. We see that Keiwa doesn't want her to go, because he still considers her a friend, and they've been fighting with each other so long that she's contemplating on actually going. We did see that Nerum is also talking to her dad, her air quotes her dad, telling him that, hey, do you want your memories erased, or do you want to keep your memories, stuff like that. So we end up leaving, and he's basically also like firing her dad, because he's like you did these stuff and you overseen the DGP for so long. I'm pretty sure there's some happiness out there for you somewhere. And he basically is like basically firing him. And her dad does, Kurama does not take that so freaking well. But we also had the conversation between Gates. This is not Geo. Between Gates and Buffer, and he essentially tells Buffer that, hey, you're actually saving all the writers. Actually, he's like, no, I'm not saving them. I'm just teaching idiots a lesson. I wouldn't call it saving. And he tells them that, hey, you've been playing the anti-hero role for a little bit too long. Like, it is you tell him, he basically telling him, you're a little too edgy, yo. You're a little too edgy. And he tells them that, hey, if writers defeat other writers, then they just go back to their regular lives and they forget everything. But if a writer is defeated by a Jamato, then that's game over. They die. And he says that if you see a writer getting attacked by Jamato, are you gonna just leave them for dead, or are you asking us to help them? And Buffer, being the edgy guy that he is, he basically tells them, I don't care. So yeah, we also got to see a fight between Buffer and Archimedo. We see that Archimedo is actually able to hurt Buffer, and while he's able to hurt Buffer, he says that, hey, you got kind of cocky with your powers. That those powers don't affect people who aren't common writers. So Jamato are actually able to hurt Buffer, and that's it. Other writers can't hurt him. He's essentially invincible. So yeah, I kind of saw that coming. I kind of saw his whole power only affecting writers, because that's what we kind of wished for. And also they all thought that the Jamato were gone. So he kind of felt like they didn't have anything to worry about, even also with the whole thing of him not being a Jamato anymore. But we did see that Jin does go talk to Betaba and Kikera, and basically saying that, hey, I'm not here to fight y'all. I'm just here as a negotiator. I want to negotiate terms with y'all, no fighting, stuff like that. And he says, I want the Vision Driver, which we don't know why, we don't know what they want the Vision Driver for, or anything like that. We did see that an awesome fight with Geats and Buffer teaming up to go up against Archimedo after KY and Neon ended up saving Sarah. After Sarah was basically almost killed by Archimedo, we did see that Kikera and Bedobar were the ones that actually put a hit, essentially telling Archimedo, chopping up a deal with Archimedo. And Archimedo, he wasn't about it at first. Like he's so done with Bedobar and all that stuff. And they asked him to go after KY's sister, and Kikera is basically essentially just saying, I need something tragic to happen to KY to make him a real Kamen Rider. And they're like kind of setting up the whole thing of KY getting a new form, or KY getting stronger in some kind of way, which I wish would happen. I also wish he would use the laser boost form more, but hey, the jet and cannon form more, but I guess that's not an existent thing. He has it, but like, why? No, maybe he doesn't have it anymore. He did get erased at one point, so maybe he doesn't have that anymore. He just got ninja, but it would make sense for him to also have jet and cannon. But hey, we'll see it when we see it. It's also a much more powerful form, so you should be using it more anyway. But I'm going on a tangent anyway. We also got to see a really cool fight with Geats and Buffer teaming up against Archimedo and actually taking Archimedo out. And it did some pretty cool stuff, man. We get a funny scene with Geats using a kick move, and he ended up kicking Buffer, bouncing off of Buffer and kicking Archimedo. And Buffer's like, hey man, what was that kick for? He said, bro, you're invincible. And he pulls out his laser and shoots him in the chest, and he's just like, see, you're invincible. It didn't matter. It was actually I actually rewatched that one little scene like multiple times. It was actually pretty funny. But after they ended up defeating, so we see our two boys ended up defeating Archimedo. We see that Buffer he ended up taking the monster he ended up taking the monster buckle from Daichi, and we actually see him use monster in this in a really, really cool kind of way. Seeing how he, punching the crap out of the giant fish that Archimedo created, and getting a big hit on Archimedo, with Geats coming in and basically basically 5-time Rider kicking him. He made 5 clones, ends up Rider kicking him, and see Archimedo is down for the count. Archimedo is dead. We see Archimedo float back. He ends up going back to his greenhouse garden, where he grows all of the Jamatos. We did see earlier in the episode, after him fighting Buffa, he knocks Buffa off a cliff and actually steals all the ID cores that Buffa had, and he he takes those he takes them back and ends up planting them as fertilizer to create more basically create more Jamato or Jamato riders. After that, while he's dying, we see that Jamato are actually very sad that he's actually dying and whatnot. And Archimedo inevitably ends up dying, but that's when Bedabuck comes in, and Bedabuck grabs she ends up grabbing Daichi's ID core, which means that Daichi is gonna come back to some capacity. Maybe he's gonna come back as a Jamato. A new Jamato is probably gonna take up his role, take up his mantle, or whatever. And the other two ID cores that were left behind most kind of look like the same ID cores of the riders that ended up killing Buffa's friend, ended up killing Toro. So most likely we might end up seeing those guys return back again, and hopefully they're actual threats. Basically probably bringing them back as more powerful Jamato, or they'll just end up being Jamato riders, which I'm not really keen on. And now, cause Jamato riders did inevitably end up sort of talking and things like that. So I'm hoping that they ended up, being like how Plant Toro was, how he was a Jamato that could turn into Toro, stuff like that. I'm kind of hoping that he ended up being something like that, actually being some kind of thing. So, but the episode basically ends off with, Archimedo dying and things like that, and them getting everything back, though, Gene negotiating and things like that. So, but the next episode actually looks kind of cool. We actually get to see Geats get a new form, which I don't know where that's going to come from. Maybe it's Boost Mark 3. I don't know. It basically just looks like a upgraded kind of slimmer version of Boosted Magnum, which looks kind of cool. I'm hoping to see what this form can do. Hopefully, it's probably like his, big, angry, ravenous form. He's going to use this form on Niram. So I'm really, very, very much looking forward to that. But then in this episode, we see that they're just stringing Keiwa along. They're doing a whole thing with Keiwa. They're giving Keiwa like the Daichi treatment, but it's a little bit worse than Daichi. From Revice, it's a little bit worse than Daichi, because at least Daichi was getting upgrades and things like that. But Keiwa's not getting anything. He's just a big brother protecting his sister, and Keiwa's not getting anything. I'm hoping that Keiwa will get that new form, or that really, big time to shine like he used to get. And I just don't want him to be like a weak Link anymore. But most likely he's gonna fight harder and stronger and faster now, because his sister's involved. But we didn't see Sarah Henshin in this episode. Her belt got knocked off by Archimedo. But yeah. But other than that, this episode was okay. It was very fast paced. Getting these conversations and loose ends and all this other stuff, all the other stuff that was set up before, getting all those little things handled and things like that, and also still kind of putting other situations and stuff they set up on the back burner for later episodes. But hopefully next episode will be a lot more to actually look forward to. Seeing the team up between Buffa and Geats was actually pretty cool. I knew that these guys were gonna team up one day and just beat the crap out of somebody. But yeah. But you guys, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of this episode of Kamen Rider Geats. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. As remember, I always do say, guys, stay henshined.